Oh, hey team. Josh Yeager, fiduciary governance ninja, and Santa Barbara dog walker. Can't really tell where Dodger is right now. Dodger! Are you around here, bud? Come say hi to the people. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's kind of far away. Sorry. Anyhow, we're going to continue the conversation about what we wish we had done before Mom and Dad died that would have helped in the settlement of their estate. And the objective that we're shooting for, oh, there he is. Hey, buddy. What we're shooting for is settling the estate twice as fast at half the cost with lower risk to the successor trustee. And that can be done, honestly, with a little bit of preparation by mom or dad and or eldest daughter, sibling in another state, next door neighbor. That takes a little bit of time ahead of time to prepare for the inevitable day when work needs to be done. So in the last video, we talked a little bit about the balance sheet and making sure that we knew what mom and dad actually have and had a source of truth for everything on the balance sheet and a recent statement or some sort of communication that demonstrates who we contact. We're going to move on to the next item in the estate vault, which is the, what is it? Oh yeah, I remember now. The summary of the key terms for the trust. Now here's the thing about the legal community. My colleagues love writing. They love words. And I think there is an unspoken bias that the more words and the more fancy pages and if-thens and heretofores that are put into a trust document, the better. And what happens is the settlors, the person that wrote the trust document, mom and dad, get this really big book, the binder, with all these important documents in it. But honestly, if you interviewed them 10 minutes after they got the big book and asked them what actually happens, what does the big book say? What is that contract between themselves and their beneficiaries and the trustee? What are the terms of that contract? 9 times out of 10, they don't really know for sure. They just know that a really smart attorney drafted it up and said everything's going to be okay. So I find it's a good practice to take the 34-page trust document and turn it into plain language that a non-professional successor trustee could read and understand, because 9 times out of 10, it's a non-professional successor trustee that's going to be responsible for executing the terms of that document. If they can't read the document and don't know what the duties, responsibilities, allocation, power, etc. are, it's going to be really difficult for them to settle the estate eventually. Hey, Dodger, buddy, we're going to go this way now. So, it's pretty straightforward to take the trust document and identify the key terms in it. The first probably 5 sections of most trust documents just describe what are the responsibilities or powers of mom and dad while they're still alive to the trust assets. And then at section 5, most trusts go on to describe, okay, at the death of the first spouse, what happens? What trusts are set up? How much are they funded with? What if the assets are above the lifetime exemption amount? What kind of authority does mom have as the surviving settlor as to the assets of dads who were put into the bypass trust? Or can mom decide not to fund the bypass trust? So I find that it's helpful to come up with a 2 or 3 page memo that in plain language that mom can understand or eldest daughter can understand of what the flow is, what the steps are in the administration. And that ends up really empowering the successor trustee to feel equipped and ready to do this. Having the giant binder is honestly pretty overwhelming. And find this a good practice to get the summary of the key terms of the trust in a couple of pages, maybe with a little illustration on the back of what the flow of the assets are, because we've already done the balance sheet, so we know what the assets are that are in trust. and just kind of map it out for them to get them more familiar with the process. So that's recommendation number 2, or document set number 2, that would go into the EstateVault, which will be helpful for the non-professional successor trustee as they are called upon to settle mom or dad's estate when that day comes. Okay, folks, that's about it. Ciao.